Hello everyone. Today I will be explaining 5 technical questions from the CCA. Let's start with the first question, which is about generative techniques. Um, this question is about the process feature, specifically the fast interface feature of generative techniques. It asks us what the benefits of this interface are. This is a single choice question. Previously, we had a multiple choice question, right? We were asked to choose 2 benefits before, but this time it's a single choice question. Now, looking at option A, it says that frames entering this interface will be marked with a very high priority, but that's impossible, right? There just isn't such a function enabling process doesn't mark it with high priority. So this option is incorrect. Now option B says that after connecting the cable, for example, after our host connects the cable to the switch, it can immediately start forwarding, meaning it can immediately perform forwarding, sending and receiving. That means that after I enable the Proofs function on this interface, it will no longer listen or learn. So it just keeps that 30 seconds, cancels the 30-second wait, and after canceling it, it can forward directly. So the correct answer is B. Choose B. Alright, question 2. The second question asks, for what kind of frames will a switch flood them to all interfaces? Flooding means what kind of data frames will be flooded to all interfaces. So let's look at the options. It says that if the frame's destination mark is 0, this destination MAC address is 0. That's incorrect. That's impossible. That won't be flooded. Then it says, what about the destination mark? If it's unknown, then of course it will be flooded. So the correct answer is this one. Actually, the correct answer is B. Now let's look at the next 2 options. They mention the source MAC. But the source MAC isn't used to make this decision no matter what the source MAC is. These options are all wrong. It says if the source MAC is unknown, it will be flooded. That's incorrect. Then it says the source and destination MAC are the same. These 2 are the same. Well, that's even more unreliable. So for this question, choose B. Let's look at the third question. It says, when the engineer is configuring the company's P and PE routers, which interface is G0010 connected to? It's connected to the service provider, and which function is disabled? The neighbor discovery function ND was disabled. This function was turned off. After disabling it, if the service provider uses third-party network equipment, what additional steps or configurations are needed to complete the setup? Actually, the required configuration is to enable it globally. This is called neighbor discovery, enable neighbor discovery globally. So for this question, choose B. Alright, question 4. For question 4, it asks which type of access point, meaning which specific mode or configuration of access point is being referred to depends on what exactly. In other words, what particular factors or conditions determine the choice of access point mode in this context. This centralized control, that is, control and managemental. To determine the correct answer, let's look at the options below. For example, option C is bridge mode. Then below that is repeater mode. And then there's automatic, which is autonomous mode, meaning it negotiates the mode automatically. None of these three are really correct. Actually, it's the lightweight mode. The correct answer should be A. When we use centralized management and control, centralized management and control means that let me draw it off. With centralized management and control, all of the layer 3 gateways are on this device, on this core device. And at this point, if there are a lot of devices below with a lot of access and aggregation, then the core device will be under a lot of pressure, right? So down here uses this kind of lightweight model, meaning when there aren't that many devices below. But if there are a lot of devices, what do? On the core, we implement distributed management and control. For distributed management, we add several distribution devices. And then connect the access layer below them like this, right? So the correct answer to this question is choose this lightweight model where we use centralized control and management. So actually this is for wireless management like SSID and roaming configurations. Alright, choose A. Question 5. The diagram for question 5 isn't very clear. No. 5. It says that for this question, we need to look at the diagram. It says that the company must, on this PCA, ensure that communication with the file server is the one on the right, is protected from interference by others. Which of the following commands must be configured? Let's look at the configuration. This picture is not very clear. Let me copy the original image for you. Looking at this, in the configuration, both switch A and B have ports 10, 11, 12, and 1310, 11, 12, 13, but they only included ports 10 to 12, not 13, right? So to ensure that the link between them is not interfered with, that their communication is not disturbed, we just need to have them use VLAN 13 exclusively. So we need to add VLAN 13 here. What is the command to add it here? The command to add it here is switch port trunk, and this part is written incorrectly. N should be trunk. Then after that, you add 13. This way, it won't override the original configuration. It just means I'm adding VLAN 13 to the existing configuration with this command. So the correct answer to this question is C. Alright, choose C. If you want to learn Cisco technologies or get access to the Cisco question bank, please send me a private message or you can leave a comment below the video to join the discussion.